Hello, I'm Cass. Welcome back to my booktube channel. I thought today I would do kind of a fun, quick little simple video in which I'm telling you the 25 books that I'm taking with me. I am moving, so I have to downsize this collection. Now I'm not getting rid of all of these. I'm getting rid of a big chunk of these, unfortunately, but I can only fit about 25 books to where I'm moving temporarily because I'm moving and then I'm moving again, so I'm not going to move my entire book collection with me and then have to move and pack all that again. So I'm going to pack them up, put a lot of these into boxes, and I'm keeping 25 with me. And I just wanted to kind of share the ones that I'm taking with me, and they're kind of like a tentative TBR for the next few months. Kind of a 2-in-1 video, my tentative TBR for spring / the 25 books that I'm taking with me, which was really hard to decide and par down. And technically there's 28, but 3 of them don't count because I'm counting them as decor. And we'll start with those. If you know anything about me, you already know exactly what books I'm about to hold up, and that is Ranger's Apprentice, but they are my foreign editions / this is the US first edition, this is a Russian copy, and this is a copy from the Netherlands. They have to come with me. I can't stick my babies into storage, and if you don't know, Ranger's Apprentice is my all-time favorite series, and I kindly had people from Russia and the Netherlands send me these copies, and then I actually scored this copy at my favorite bookshop / coffee shop, The Full Cup. And yeah, they just have to come with me. I can't stand the thought of being parted from my babies. But these don't really count, even though they do count, but they're more decor rather than anything. I've already read or reread The Ruins of Gorlan this year, so I'm not planning on doing a reread of that until next year, possibly. But these are the first 3, but they don't really count, but they do count, you know? Okay, next, I don't feel like holding up this entire series because it's kind of heavy, but I'll do it for y'all. Okay, ow, I stabbed myself very aggressively with Inheritance, but it's the Inheritance cycle. So we have Eragon, Eldest Bringsker, and Inheritance, and this is by Christopher Paolini. This is a series that I thought I was going to read last year, and then it did not happen. And so I thought, why not bring it with me, and then I have fewer choices from like a TBR pile, and then maybe I'll get to it. I did read Eragon for the first time last year, and I did really enjoy it. I'm going to set these down, they're kind of heavy. I did enjoy Eragon a lot last year when I read it. I just didn't have time to continue on the series. And it's definitely a series I just want to sit down and binge my way through. So I thought I'd take those along and hopefully actually get to them. I've heard so many amazing things about them. So many people read them in their childhood and even enjoy them rereading them now, and I definitely enjoyed it even like when I was 20 last year when I was reading it. It felt not like a children's series, it felt more YA-esque. I can't wait to continue that series. Seriously, Eragon as a character is kind of funny. Like, low-key, this boy is like 15, 16, and he is so savage, and it's hilarious. And I can't wait to get reacquainted with him, as well as Saphira, and dive back into the Eragon universe, because Christopher Paolini is definitely a very well-known author, and apparently he's coming out with a 5th book set years in the future, so it'd be cool to actually have read the Eragon series before trying to, you know, read the 5th book in the series and kind of be up to date, kind of in the know of what goes on in Eragon. I'm really excited because I love dragons. Dragons are super cool, and I want to read a series that has very, like, dragon prominent action going on, and I know Eragon will definitely deliver on that. Keeping in the same vein as dragons, I also am going to take this chunky book with me, and that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Now, I plan on hopefully reading A Day of Fallen Night. If I enjoy Priory, I just don't want to like invest that money into Day of Fallen Night until I make sure that I did actually enjoy Priory. I have read a chapter of this book, and I've heard amazing things about it. I really want to read this, and a standalone fantasy is perfect, but it's intimidating. Look at her! Look at her! Over 1,000 pages? There are so many characters. Oh my lord. Oh, it's 804 pages. Weird. I really thought this book was a lot longer than 804 pages. Okay, it's not even over 1,000 pages, but it's literally like printed to look like it. I've not heard many negative reviews on this book. I think I watched someone, I can't remember their name. They did a 24-hour readathon recently. Was it Allison? I don't know, I discovered her booktube channel recently and she's adorable. I'll put it on the screen if I can find her. She had some negative things to say about this, but only because it was complex to get into. And she felt like she kept having to flip to the back of the book to look at the index. And I'm the type of reader who literally will just plow through books and hopefully eventually understand. I don't typically take the time to actually like look at a glossary or look at the characters that are listed in the back of the book, because there seems to be a lot of them. I just read until things click into place, and if they never click into place, as long as I'm having a fun time, I'm there for the vibe. If I don't understand a thing about this book, but enjoy the vibe, then we're in there. So hopefully I will enjoy the characters. Hopefully there's a lot of dragon action. I want dragons. I need more dragon books. So I'm taking along Prairie with me. Plus, I'm trying to shoot for some longer books. That way I might have fewer books to choose from, but they're going to take me longer to read. You know, strategy. And books that take me longer to read, this one took me 9 months to read the first time I read it, so maybe it'll take me another 9 months to read it the second round as well. Hopefully not. I hope not, but I did want to take this copy of The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. I have already read this series, so this would be my second reread, but I recently read The Wise Man's Fear. Nope, that's this book. I recently read The Name of the Wind in January for mine and Katie's book club, Wyverns and Words. And I want to continue on and finish this little book. Little book. Oh my gosh, wait. Where is it? I wanna finish this book for I can also pick up The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss. Crap, I'm up to 26 books now, but this one's so skinny. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I really, really love Patrick Rothfuss's writing. And I annotated the UK edition of The Name of the Wind, and I plan on doing the same thing with The Wise Man's Fear. Can't wait to fill this sucker full of tabs. I actually enjoyed The Wise Man's Fear almost more than The Name of the Wind, so I am extremely excited to dive back into the universe and to dive back into Patrick Rothfuss's beautiful prose. His writing is spectacular. And yeah, I also want to read The Slow Regard of Silent Things, because I actually haven't read this book yet. I meant to, but then this book took me 9 months, and by the time I finished this book, I had to reread The Name of the Wind, so I didn't have time in between to pick up this book. But it's a very, very short novella about a character named Ari, and she's just such a fun, quirky, weird little character, and I can't wait to explore the underthing with her and kind of where she lives and her life from her perspective. I think that'll be super duper cute. So yeah, wait, illustrated by Nate Taylor. There's illustrations? Oh my gosh, there's little illustrations! That is so exciting. That just made me even more excited. Okay, perfect. There we go. I'm gonna take Creativity Inc. with me, Overcoming the Unseen Forces That Stand in the Way of True Inspiration by Ed Catmull. He is the president of Pixar Animations and Disney Animations, with Amy Wallace, apparently. It's a New York Times bestseller. Let me just read every snippet of text on this book. But this is about the founding of Pixar, I do believe, and I'm fascinated in the founding of like animation studios or artists. Just that sort of biography, autobiography vibe. I don't know exactly if this is a biography per se, but apparently it's a book for managers who want to lead employees to new heights, a manual for anyone who strives for originality, and the first ever trip into the nerve center of Pixar Animations, into the meetings, postmortems, and brain trust sessions where some of the most successful films in history are made. For the record, that was all one sentence. It just seemed like an interesting book and one that I did want to read. Who knows, I might read it before I move and then I will stick to my only 25 books, but it's just a book that seemed up my alley that I wanted to take with me, and something that isn't super fantasy heavy, obviously, because it's not a fantasy book at all. It's more of a biography, how-to situation, apparently. But a lot of the books that are currently stacked around me, but a lot of the books that I'm bringing with me are fantasy or very thick, and sometimes I just need to sneak in a little simple book. These next books I'm not going to talk about for too long because they're more Ranger's Apprentice books, but I have books 4 through 7, and then the earlier books 1 and 2 that I'm taking with me. I'm hosting a Ranger's Apprentice readathon with my friend Rosalie, and I kind of need to actually have access to the books that I'm reading. Also, this dust jacket is like slowly falling out. Okay. I don't know how many months that I'll be at this place, but I thought I'd be prepared. So I have 6 months worth of Ranger's Apprentice books. Essentially, we're reading one Ranger's Apprentice book every single month and having like a little live stream with trivia and just like a discussion. So I need to have those books on hand, therefore bringing them. Yes, they take up 6 out of my 25 books, but Ranger's Apprentice is my personality trait at this point, so are we surprised? Next, I'm bringing the entirety of the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. This is set in Tokyo, I do believe. I don't know why I said Tokyo like that. It is not set in Tokyo. Is it Hong Kong? Let me get my freaking country right. Yeah, it's set in Hong Kong. It's set in a fantasy Hong Kong. Now that I've gotten my country right, because it's definitely Chinese, not Japanese, it's set in the city of Janlun, which I do believe is a fantasy version of Hong Kong, as kind of like what I understand it to be here. And it's giving These Violent Delights, but hopefully better. I've heard amazing things. Well, I've heard mixed reviews about Jade City, but I was kindly gifted these books, and I want to actually read them, because I want to read books that people give to me, and I think that this is something that I will really enjoy, and I have the entire series here, therefore I feel like I could just binge through it, you know? So that is the goal. A lot of these you'll notice are series, and it's just because there's a lot of series that I've been trying to get to, and the last thing I want to do is pack a bunch of like first books in series and then need to buy the rest of the series. Because then that's just counterproductive, I feel like, because then I'm just adding more books, making moving harder. But the next 3 are the Fifth Wave trilogy by Ricky Yancey. Now, these I've just been dying to reread, and I recently got my hands on some very nice hardcover editions. And yeah, they're due for a reread. I read them a couple of years back, I think, 2019 perhaps. Beginning of 2020, end of 2019, one of the two, I don't remember. Time is relative, but I really enjoyed these books, and I wanted a little sci-fi moment, therefore I'm packing them. Essentially, there's like 5 different waves that hit Earth and make people basically fall into an apocalypse, essentially, alien invasion type of situation, but not actual aliens. They're like aliens disguised as humans, and there's like politics going on, and I really like the characters and the plot, and I just can't wait to reread this. So I'm packing it with me because I want to reread it very soon. Then, speaking of books I want to reread, yes, I have packed quite a few books that are going to be rereads. However, sometimes it's just like that. And that is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. This cute little edition. Look, it's small, it's thin, it's easy to pack away. You know, I'll be fine. But I've been dying to read Ender's Game, and I just need an excuse. I need an excuse to pick it up, and I haven't quite gotten that excuse yet. So we'll see what excuse I will justify rereading this book with, but I love Ender's Game. It is a fascinating story about war, and it's set in space, and it's hopefully going to put me in the mood to read, or at least reach for more sci-fi books. I don't typically reach for sci-fi, even though all the sci-fi books I've read I've really enjoyed, and I'm trying to branch out into the sci-fi realm, but to branch out, I'm going to need a starting point. So hopefully Ender's Game will be my starting point. I also really want to rewatch the movie, because I think the movie wasn't actually that bad. Yes, they left out certain plot elements that really made the book special, but there's a lot that goes on in this book that I'm not surprised that they couldn't do like the truest of adaptations. It's still super solid though. Okay, then the last 4 books. So this is the final 4. Oh my Jesus. This is the final 4, and this is The Last Magician series by Lisa Maxwell. I read the first one back in 2020, 5-starred it, was obsessed, meant to continue reading the series, didn't happen. Now the series is complete, and I am hopefully going to actually pick this up. My sister is obsessed with it. I'm going to set the sound. This is a little heavy. My sister's obsessed with it and has been bugging me and asking me like, hey, have you actually like finished the series? And I'm like, girl, I haven't restarted the series. So slow your roll. I really hope I can get to it. It's definitely another series where I just want to sit down and binge read through them. So fingers crossed that will happen. But yeah, those are the 25 books that I am taking with me. Technically 26, because I forgot about The Slow Regard of Silent Things. As I pack away my books, I am going to create a couple boxes that I'll keep near the front of my storage unit that I can dive into for more books that are on my TBR in case I do finish these somehow, or feel like I need more variety, because I know a lot of these books were fantasy, and sometimes I'm not always in the mood for fantasy, but who knows what will happen. Plus, I will try to be borrowing from the library more often to save myself some money. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little quick, a little simple, but I wanted to share kind of the books that I'm taking with me and my tentative spring TBR type of situation. Thank you to my lovely, lovely Patreons over on Chaos X Cass. It's our fun little book club where we have a monthly book buddy read situation, some bonus behind the scenes content, and a bonus video. It's fun time. There's multiple tiers you can choose from, and yeah, it's always linked below. Thank you to all of you for watching. Please do let me know what books I should start with first on this massive TBR of mine, and I really, really hope to see you in the next one. Toodles!